Hero equipment is the most important thing to any attack strategy, but with how stingy ores are to obtain, it can be tough to choose what to prioritize. So let's break down the best equipment to upgrade for each hero so you can get the best value for your ores. So starting with the Grand Warden, he has a nice supply of equipment to choose from, but his Eternal Tome will be the first priority for him. The invulnerability you get from this ability is second to none, and is great for different attack strategies. While it can be switched out for other equipment, it's still a great choice for its overall protection and for different attack strategies at early Town levels. But you can also use code Corrupt to support me and the channel. Next, you should prioritize his Rage Gem following the Eternal Tome. The Rage Gem enables your Warden to attack faster while supporting your troops and other heroes with an additional rage. This 50% also includes the Druids and Healers' healing output, making it a great option to pair with them in many armies. This will also enable your Warden to do Warden charges with the Fireball or do longer Warden walks to set up funneling. Speaking of which, the Fireball is very powerful as it's able to cut large chunks out of the base when used to either set up funneling for your main attack or even to clear the core while charging with himself and healers. If you do need a Fireball guide, I recommend checking out my own right at the end of this video. From here, the Healing Tome is another solid upgrade to focus on, and while it is only used in a few different attacks from air and ground, it's still good to use with its long duration and high amount of healing, which can keep troops like Root Riders, Healers, or Dragons alive for longer. Following those equipment, I would recommend upgrading the Heroic Torch next. This is thanks to its 27.5 second duration and 15% damage reduction at max level. Why this is important is with the longer duration, you can get more value from taking less damage while also speeding up your troops for longer and allowing them to walk between walls. With that said, it is fairly niche with troops like Super Yetis or Meteor Golem spam, so it doesn't have many use cases despite its buff, but with the possibility of more troop levels, we could see a rise in its use. However, I wouldn't really focus on the Lalo Puppet or Life Gem unless all other equipment are maxed out, as they will not offer much to your attacks unless you're using very niche options like Super Hog Riders or Clone Lavaloon with Dragon Spam. Moving over to the Barbarian King, his first priority is obviously his Spiky Ball. This equipment enables your king to have much more DPS and HP thanks to its passive hero boost stats, while also allowing your king to do damage from a distance. With its utility, it pairs very well with two other equipment, the Earthquake Boots and Snake Bracelet, which enables your king to be used in different ways. From here, I would actually recommend focusing on the Snake Bracelet next, as it's often the best choice with the king being used to cut off the funnel. This is mainly due to the high HP boost your king gets with this equipment, and when paired with the Spiky Ball, you are often able to keep him alive for most of the attack. As you upgrade the equipment, the snakes also get additional levels, which makes them slightly tankier to help keep your king alive and vice versa. However, you should also work on his Earthquake Boots from there, as its utility to break walls instantly while doing damage percent to nearby buildings surrounding the 8-tile range of it will allow your king to be solid inside the base for wall breaking and damage support. Its boost stats also give additional DPS and HP, making sure your king can get good value with the Spiky Ball in tow. As for his other equipment, they're all just not worth investing into, as they are all relatively niche or just don't do much for the Barbarian King when used in either air or ground attack strategies. As for the Archer Queen, her first priority is her action figure. This equipment is super good for both air and ground attacks, as it offers enough survivability and damage via the Giant, whose stats are insanely good and scale extremely well past level 21. This enables your queen to have a high HP wall in front of her while funneling or doing high DPS with other equipment. The other equipment you can focus on following the action figure mainly lie with the Giant Arrow, Magic Mirror, and Healer Puppets. If you're mostly a ground attacker, you have the Magic Mirror you can focus on, as this equipment allows for even more damage on the base, enabling your queen to help your army inside or on the outside of the base, funneling your troops in. As long as you have survivability, the magic mirror is a great equipment to focus on, especially as it gives you additional healing and HP as its hero boost stats. However, if you're mainly an air attacker, the giant arrow is often her best choice to focus on, as it's so flexible in many options for sniping down air defenses and air sweepers to activating invisibility spell towers from a distance. If you ever need funneling, this is also a solid choice, as it gives enough DPS increase for your queen to use it while being tanked for by the giant. Though we cannot forget about the healer puppets, as they offer similar survivability to the action figure with healing rather than tanking, as it offers direct healing along with its self-healing. Despite its competition with the action figure, the healer puppets can also work with equipment like the magic mirror or giant arrow in funneling, while with the action figure, it's better inside the base for the solid support and survivability the two equipment can bring to your attacks. Just be sure to have this at least level 15 or above, so you have 3 healers healing your queen. Her other equipment are just too niche to put ores into and really won't give you any advantage in your attacks, no matter if you're using an air or ground attack. With the Royal Champion, her first priority for your ores will be her rocket spears, as it offers a lot of utility inside the base during smash attacks, or even on the outside to either funnel troops in or to clear out defenses before starting the Royal Champion charge. You can even use this on the back end to keep her alive while clearing out defenses for your push. Oftentimes, pairing this up with either the Electro Boots, Frostflake, or the Seeking Shield will enable you to do damage from a distance while providing support for herself and the rest of your army. Speaking of the Electro Boots, they are a great upgrade to focus on after the Rocket Spear, as its passive DPS, healing, and additional HP are so good for plenty of different strategies while removing the weakness of having to deal with skeleton traps. It also enables you to do damage to buildings and defenses around her, which is perfect for Royal Champion charges that can be used in plenty of different strategies. As for a Frostflake, I would upgrade this one right after, as its freeze is very much impactful in both Smash and Warden charge armies, with it being able to target up to 7 buildings for 7 seconds. It's also going to help in nearly every aspect, as it covers a wide area that normally you would need to use multiple freeze spells for. From there, you have a lot of other equipment to choose from, as each has their strengths and weaknesses, such as the haste vial. This equipment is pretty solid for long Royal Champion charges that use mass invisibility spells, as the extra attack speed and DPS can be quite good to have around the core of the base during your charge. The Seeking Shield is also quite a decent option to focus on, with the high damage it does per defense, while being a great option to pair with the Rocket Spear. This allows you to clear lower tier defenses in one shot, or do extra damage to high HP defenses while saving your Rocket Spears to do damage to those higher HP defenses. I just don't recommend investing anything into her other equipment, as the survivability both offer aren't good enough compared to other choices the Royal Champion has. Finally, with the Minion Prince, his Dark Orb is easily your first priority. Its slow on defenses in such a wide area cannot be ignored. Its passives are also very good, with a bit of DPS and HP to keep him somewhat tanky. This follows us up nicely with the Henchman puppets, as they are tailor-made to work with the Dark Orb. While it does just spawn henchmen, these guys can help the prince in scouting seeking air mines to keep him or even dragons alive as they work around. The additional DPS increase stat in his boosts is the main reason to upgrade it, as the henchman HP doesn't change much per level. Now, while you can just focus on using his defaults, there are other equipment choices that can work in different situations. The Meteor Staff is the first one I'd focus on after finishing his default equipment, as it can be a good option for the passive damage it can deal to defenses nearby, but it does lack defensive capabilities by itself, which is why it's often common to pair it with the Dark Orb for the defensive slow. However, you also have his Dark Crown, and while the Dark Crown does need 180 housing space to get the full buff, it is quite worth doing with the large DPS and HP increase, making it a decent choice for Dragon and Dragon Rider attacks as the dragons naturally fall. As for his Noble Iron, it's just not worth upgrading because, one, you need the Angry Jelly, and if you don't have it, it's not good, and otherwise, it just doesn't offer much compared to his other equipment that are arguably just better and more flexible. This overall should give you a good priority guide for each hero's equipment, but if you need to see it from a glance, here is a priority for each hero. This hopefully will help you get more value for your ores to hopefully shake up the game in a good way. If you need a proper fireball guide, however, I recommend checking out this guide, but YouTube says you might like this one instead.